We are getting ready for Global Champions League Round 2. There's loads of entertainment inside the ring. Perhaps more importantly, the course walk is currently underway inside the ring as well. And we'll get all of that information, all of those updates for you as we get closer to the start of GCL Round 2. As it stands, the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses, lead as the only team on double clear. Madrid Emotion, 3-time penalties for Kim Emmen. She finds herself in a slightly strange position because of those time penalties. And the Kunststars, powered by the Iron Dames, are in third on 4. And would this rider not want to be there for GCL Round 2? Without a shadow of a doubt, would Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann be in that ring competing for the Kunststars? But she has come to join us inside the studio to have a chat. Jana, for anyone that has missed the news, talk to us about what is happening over here right now.
Well, I had a very unlucky accident yesterday in the warm-up.
Yeah.
And my horse jumped great, but then, yeah, I think it was just a second where she maybe stumbled a bit, jumped into her shoe and couldn't get up really. And I realized too late, and I was already on my way over the jump, and then I had to jump alone, kind of.
Which is what we never want to see, the riders jumping alone. It's why you have the horses to help you. So she got a bit stuck in the sand and you were already committed for the jump?
Yes. And then I had a bit of a bad fall on my shoulder and the shoulder came out. So, and I have to say I had super help around me, super support right away. But unfortunately, it looks like I can't ride for a bit. We don't know yet. We have to check again next week. But I hope I don't have to do surgery. It's nothing broken. But yeah, the ligament and everything, it's probably very stretched, maybe a bit damaged. We don't know yet. And yeah, now I'm here.
What's tricky about a dislocation, you're right, is that it needs time. There's inflammation, there's fluids, so you need to have some time. I assume you'll be heading to the doctors in Germany in the new week?
Yes, on Monday we check again. I had a super doctor here, I had super support. But yeah, we can't tell now how long it will take. Hopefully not so long.
What I think is amazing about your character is here you are injured. You probably could have had the opportunity to go home already now, but here you have stayed, you are in the kiss and cry, you are still supporting this team. Does that say a lot about your character and how important this entire project is for you still?
I mean, I think it says something about the whole team. I mean, we're here to support each other. And I went here to be as good as possible with good horses and a good goal. We won here last year, and of course, yeah, we kind of want to do the same. But luckily, I have very good colleagues, so they did well the first round, and I hope we do well the second round also.
Of all the stages for you to miss, I know this is a very special place for you. I imagine that it's even more heartbreaking to where this has happened, because any injury is not a good thing. But talk to me about how and why Monaco in particular is such a special place for you.
In Monaco it's a very special ring, and I have to say the injury totally came into the wrong time moment, but probably it's never a good time for that. But during the season, of course, you're like, yeah, you're a bit desperate in the moment. But anyway, we have a top team and we support each other, and same we do this weekend, and I'm sure they will do the best without me, and I will support from the side and have my fingers crossed. And yeah, I hope we make it on the podium again.
It talks a lot about the depth of the Kunststars, doesn't it? Because you can have a rider that gets injured, you have Katrin Ackermann that can still jump clear, you have Natalie who jumps a really good 4. One of the major strengths of the Kunststars has been the depth of this team. Talk to me about what was the conversation then once they knew you weren't available. How much did that change? What was the original plan? I assume you would have jumped, of course, but how quick did the team have to adapt once the injury happened?
I mean, I'm here with Iron Dames Dubai, so yes, the plan was that she also jumped for the team. But like you say, we have a really strong team, and we are all very committed. So there was no talking about it. It was clear the next one steps in and will do the same. So, and I would do the same for somebody else. So we are a strong group, and I think they did super. I mean, both rode a super round. I couldn't have done better. So now it's just about crossing the fingers for the next round.
What did you make of round one? There's only one fence in it to separate Kunstars and Stockholm. It's a single rail. It's very tight. What did you make of round one? Because it looked quite smooth from the course walk, but the results tell us that it was anything but smooth. That was very tough jumping. What was your take on round one?
I think it's really hard for the horses because the ring is so small, and when you come from an indoor, then it's fine. Then you're already into these tight rings. But now during the outdoor season, when you already also have big rings around, then it's really technical over here, and I think for some horses it's not so easy, and also for yourself as a rider you have to get into it, and you have to put a decision quite quick. There's not much time to balance up again and then add a stride or leave one out, because all the jumps come quick, and then you have to be like really on it, and that's why it's very special.
Well, like in 2024 when Kunstars won here, if they do win it again tonight, please come back and join us in the studio, because we would love to have a follow-up chat with you. Get back to work, go and support your team. It's wonderful to have you here. I'm very sorry to hear it. Speedy recovery, and we look forward to seeing you get back in the competition as quickly as possible.
Thank you very much.
Jana joining us in the studio. She had a tough fall in the warm-up, and because of that she will not be competing here in Monaco. Hopefully good news from the doctors in the new week will mean that she is back to performing as quickly as possible. Let's remind you as to what took place in GCL round one and just how things stand now. It is the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M Wheel of Horses, that lead as the only team on double clear. Madrid Emotion on 3 penalties, and the Kunstars, powered by the Iron Dames, currently on 4. We'll also try and get some reaction from Rosie Turner, who will be inside the ring. Thank you very much once again to Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann. The Basel Cosmopolitans on 4 alongside the Prague Lions. Falkenswaard United with a time penalty on 5. Riesbeck International, time penalty on 6. New York Empire, powered by Lugano, time penalties on 11. It was a major talking point after GCL round one, were how many time faults were found. Let's not forget that the Monaco Comets and the Saint-Tropez Pirates both got eliminated, which means, in fact, that there will only be 15 teams competing in that second round, and that the Doha Falcons will be the first team out the gate in GCL round 2. Let's head into the ring. Rosie Turner getting us some course reaction. Rosie, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Alongside me now is Robert Murphy from New York Empire. And Robert's been fantastic in the team so far. Just one down and a couple of time faults in the first round. The time was tough.
Yeah, it was tough enough. You know, my horse isn't so experienced at this level, and I'm wary not to push him too hard, which costs us a bit. But, yeah.
You're bringing in a new horse as well into this one. I think Spencer Smith is coming in as the second rider. How do you think that's going to go round 2?
Yeah, good. We've had a few decent results, me and the horse Eagle, so, you know, I'm quite hopeful for this round, and Spencer's horses look good through this weekend, so, yeah, we're hopeful.
Let's walk this line then, because you told me this is actually quite a tricky line. I mean, it's all pretty technical in here. And you can probably hear behind me as well, we've got a bit of a party atmosphere in here, but the riders are very much focused, as always. So tell me about this line, why it's tricky.
It's a big oxer out of the turn to start with, away from the gate. And then it's a bit of a longer distance. It's 9 strides for such a small arena, which can be quite unusual. And, you know, for such a tall vertical to have the white poles is tough. Also, with a white background, it's really difficult for even us to see it, never mind the horses. And then, you know, if you manage to jump the vertical, there's a really short turn back to another big oxer, which you have to be really sharp for. So, you know,
I think a lot of riders in round 1 felt like it walked quite nicely, but then it was very difficult to ride. Do you think this is going to ride difficult tonight?
Yeah, I would say so. You know, the ring's so tight and the jumps are always coming on top of you, you know, so one mistake leads to another if you're not careful. So,
well, listen, we'll let you go and walk the course again, get it fresh in your mind. Robert, thank you so much. We'll let you go. Mark, that's Robert Murphy, New York Empire. Just one down for each of the teams. Spencer Smith coming in and Robert Murphy changing his horse. Let's see how they go.
Thank you very much to Rosie. Thank you to Rob Murphy. The lights starting to come on. You can see just behind me, those floodlights, in fact, starting to open up. That second round under lights, it always plays a role. How much of a factor is it going to be if there are young horses, inexperienced riders inside a very small ring under lights? It poses a lot of questions. And that's often why you see scores getting quite high in Monaco, because some of those younger horses, some of those younger riders perhaps might find life just a little bit difficult Nice shot there of the beautiful arena set against that backdrop of that beautiful mountain, the coastline, all of the yachts as well that are set up here outside the marina. Take a look at that. Find me a better place to spend the rest of your summer. I'll wait. Portecule playing host to us here this week as we reach the official halfway point of the Global Champions League season. We come off the back of Paris into Monaco, and after this we head to London in a couple of weeks' time as we start getting ready for the upcoming few stages. But there's still a lot of work to be done, a lot of jumping that still needs to happen here in Monaco. Let's continue to get some thoughts, continue to get some reaction. I mentioned Madrid Emotion, that they find themselves in somewhat of no man's land. They're inside a single fence going down, but they're outside the double clears because of those 3 time penalties from Kim Emmen. It leaves them currently in second place, but that may well change because of those time penalties. Let's hear from Madrid Emotion.
Yeah, thank you. Alongside me now is Michael van der Vleuten from Madrid Emotion, who finished second after round 1. Just an unlucky time penalties for Kim Emmen there, but it was tough in there for round 1.
Yeah, it's always it's a tricky arena. Different jumping, I always find, compared to many other arenas. Very delicate fences. Not so much time in between the jumps, of course. It's more difficult for the rider and horse. And the horse from Kim is a super horse, not that much experience yet at this level. Okay, unfortunately some time faults. The good thing is that we stay inside the 4 penalty points, so everything is still possible.
Well, you both bring in some brilliant horses as well, some very experienced horses into round 2. How do you think they'll cope in this?
It's for this arena, it's a tough class. As I said before, also now the fences are coming quite fast, far into the corner, quickly out of the turn again. So we have to be aware the whole round, and our horses have to be aware. And yeah, let's see how far we can bring.
Is there any line in particular that you think might cause problems? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot there.
No, I think especially the line from 6 to 7 comes very quick, and also 10, 11, 12. It's a bit, especially number 12, as you can see, is really far into the corner. It's something different. Not all the horses are used to that, so it's for many riders and horses a new experience.
It's also not as wide of an oxer as you normally see in these courses. Is that normal?
Okay, but when you jump so far to the side, it always, you know, the horses, they stay a bit away from the side, so many horses will not always finish the jump very well, and that's also what we're gonna see a couple of times, I think, in the next 2 hours. Well,
listen, you've got the advantage of going second last night, so you've got a few teams to watch. Michael, we'll let you go. Keep your focus going. Thank you so much. Mark, that's Michael van der Vleuten. It's going to be a technical course tonight. We saw round 1 cause problems, and I'm sure round 2 we'll see some fences going down too, but it's going to be competitive as ever.
Thank you very much, Michael van der Vleuten. Madrid Emotion, a very late start, second last to go because of those 3 time penalties. Stars and the Iron Dames will separate then Madrid in Motion. Before we wrap up and get ready for the jumping of GCL round 2, we remind you that this is the moment, or at least building up until this point, is the moment where managers can make changes. They can decide to make rider changes, they can decide to make horse changes, they can decide to make no changes at all. That's what makes the strategy behind GCL so fascinating. That gap between round 1 and round 2 plays an integral part of how the success of the night is going to play out. Let's go quickly back one more time to Rosie Turner. Rosie, talk to me about some of those changes. As always, when it comes to GCL, I imagine some teams stand out. Talk to me about anything significant that you find on that start list for GCL round 2.
Yeah, well, Mark, there's been a lot of changes for round 2. If I whistle stop through them very quickly, Doha's got 2 horse changes. Istanbul Warriors, 2 horse changes. Scandinavian Vikings, yeah, Vreeling brings in a new horse, and Johann Sebastian Gulliksen comes in. Paris has a horse change. Shanghai has a new rider and a horse change. But the one team that has made no changes tonight, which I do think is significant, is Riesenbeck International. They do not have any changes, but everyone else, they've made a change.
That is the Riesenbeck way. Ludger Beerbaum is not a fan of making those changes at the halfway point. Everyone else around them, though, seems to have made a lot of changes. We'll see which team then is going to benefit that the most. Global Champions League round 2 action continues live in Monaco. Let's get round 2 underway.
This is a stunning scene. We welcome you to leg 8 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. We are here in Monaco, Porto-Cool. Monte Carlo brings us to the halfway point of what has been a fascinating season. The royal family are here, Prince Albert II. And what an evening we have in prospect this evening, because it is GCL round 2. This is the team decider, and also it is multifaceted because also the qualification for the Grand Prix hit to be held here in 2 evenings' time. It's a warm evening. There's a nice breeze though to keep everybody cooler, particularly of course equine superstars. And well, what a scene that the royal family will enjoy here. This event has come here since 2006, the inaugural year on the Longines Global Champions Tour. We have been here for 19 seasons. The GCL, the Global Champions League itself, started in 2016. And there's the 19th edition of the Longines Global Champions Tour, the 9th GCL edition that Monaco has hosted. The languages here: French, Monegasque, English and Italian. It is a sovereign city-state, the Principality of Monaco, and the second smallest worldwide after Vatican City. And this is the most compact arena on the Longines Global Champions Tour, 28 metres its width and 75 metres in length, opposed to the giant that is reasonably the largest arena on the Longines Global Champions Tour. We'll go there later this summer. The course designer is a mastermind from Italy, Ilona Vezzani, one of the most revered designers on the world circuit. And 470 metres, forgive me, the length of his course, 76 seconds, the time allowed. The GCL round 2 this evening, and it's a very, very nice Thursday evening here. Porto-Cool, just alongside us, it literally is within a stone's throw of the main arena here. The backdrop could not be any more spectacular. For this one of the most favoured legs, it's one of the crowd's favourites. The riders love coming here to Monaco. Welcome to GCL round 2 this evening here at Porto-Cool. The season it is its halfway point, and battle is really brewing as last year's champions Can-Stars are out by a narrow margin. And after being part of Deborah Meyer's outfits, they lead by 3 points. Barkasvard United having won 2 legs. Madrid and Saint-Tropez, they are second. And Shanghai Swans, again double winners this year. They won in Mexico City and in Shanghai. Shanghai Swans lie 3rd, Prague Lions in 4th, and Saint-Tropez Pirates in 5th place as we stand. Well, the start list for GCL round 2 will have an individual group that is 24 in number prior to the team competition starting. And Julien Payard won the Grand Prix here in 2023 with Donatello Dorge, and Harry Smolders won in Cannes the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix with Monaco. Manuel Lagardiano's got a very good horse start, Esteban Hus at number 12. And Ines Jolie, she won the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix here last year with Ambassador. We'll start with Crackdag Wized. Gives up Prince for the Mount Luxembourg. He's always quick. Victor Beddendorf starting at 21. And Jean Sadron with Dexter won the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix in Paris last year. Small Lester and Henrik von Eckermann come again for Istanbul Warriors. A horse change for Henrik to Iliana. Robert Smith again changed for Eagle van der Wolfsack Gazette for New York Empire to come with Spencer Smith for New York Empire. Andreas Sko, he lies 5th on the Longines Global Champions Tour season standings, has got Napoli Van Nadarassentov, his superstar, to come. And Stockholm Hearts, the only team clear after GCL round 1, they have the advantage. As last to go, Jane Richard, and a new ride for Olivia Philipparts. Dixie Moon comes in for the Belgian. Well, this is seen next to Amigos concert there alongside Kern Verrecke. And Kulix is back to the main arena, and our crowd take in what they witness over the next 2 hours of world-class horse sports. This is the quite jaw-dropping location. We're within 5-6 metres of the beautiful Porto-Cool that laps onto the Mediterranean coastline. A very good evening from myself, Ed Holloway. Great to have your company. GCL round 2 starts here in Monaco, with the individual riders to come. 24 they are in number. The trailblazer tonight, Oliver Lazarus, gets us underway for South Africa. The first the individuals this evening. He lies in 75th in the Longines Global Champions Tour season standings at this halfway point of the 2025 season, the 19th season of the Longines Global Champions Tour. And our trailblazer into GCL round 2, it is Con Balfalgo PS for Oliver Lazarus to show us the way around the course. This pair's very good Grand Prix results was with us in leg 1 in Doha. That was 12th and behind Abdul Said and Bon Ami in Qatar at the start of the year. Oliver Lazarus turns into this early combination. Well down through 3A and B, 155 entering, 150, 160 out, and then down to the Prague playoffs vertical. 160 tall for his max height fence comes at 4. This again is very tall, the casino vertical 160, just 3 white rails, and Oliver Lazarus finds a good take-off point. The mistake comes on the far side. The Seahorse oxes, sadly, 2 very big oxes there lying, 7 and 8. Learns right with his mother at the family farm at Longines in Swaziland as an infant. This is a very big treble, comes late. 11A, B and C, a mighty finishing line. Little rattle in, but it stays. But the out, I'm afraid, does not. The second blemish for Oliver Lazarus and Con Balfalgo PS this evening here in Monaco. GCL round 2 underway. Already a tough indicator of just the demands of the course this evening. Good round for Oliver, but it is a penalties for the trailblazer. Con Balfalgo PS, the son of Contenders. There's a table A competition, just 1 round against the clock, so therefore we look for the quickest clear round around Ilana Vezzani's course that will win this evening. 8 of the opening score. The new starter, this man has had an outstanding Longines Global Champions Tour season already. He was second in the Grand Prix in Madrid behind Yoli Mittelaneo and Latista Toxendra. That was with Aventador S. He was third in the Prix GCTV Friday night in Cannes, leg 5. And this was Catali, was 7th in the Eiffel Challenge, leg 7 last time in Paris in the French capital. Marcuccia gets well away. Cattley, his new ride, former ride of Lars Bach Andersen, for the great German who turned 50 start of this year. This man that brought Konoplinski to the forefront of world show jumping. The great corner to size, so many good horses, won the World Cup in Zurich back in 2012 for Marco. Down now between 7 and 8. And of course these individuals here for qualification to try and be one of the best 40 rounds that will return for the Grand Prix here in 2 nights' time. For the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix du Prince de Monaco, that is out but the second in attendance this evening. Super round, and Marcuccia has every chance of returning. We would not anticipate more than 40 clears this evening, so the great German breaks out into a smile to acknowledge the fact that he will likely return for the Grand Prix to come here on Saturday evening. Super round, the first pair of GCL round 2 goes to Marcuccia and Catali for Germany. The new starter, winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here 2 years ago in 2023. With this very horse, it is Donatello Dorge on course. The one number 18, Jeanette Payard gets away. Jeanette also won the Longines Global Championship Super Grand Prix in Prague, Dubai du Centre, 2023. Donny has set off like a scalded cat this evening, very fast from this combination. This horse, homebred, won the Contenders 3-star Grand Prix recently, late in May, on the World Cup qualifier in Basel back in the start of the season in January, and won the World Cup final in Basel. A huge crown. Jeanette Payard in Switzerland. Donatella Dorge a little bit, lacking momentum, I thought, down into the GCL line, just slightly wavered, just drifted through the shoulder, I think, on approach as well. And 2 out of the final 3 fences down through 11A, B and C go, I'm afraid, after a very strong first 7/8 of the round for the former Longines Global Championship Grand Prix winners here. Jeanette Payard's chances of coming back for the best 40 to qualify for the Grand Prix are still possible. 8 may be a good enough score. We've had 8 penalty scores qualifying this season already. I think the demands of this course will probably mean that Jeanette Payard will return, but we'll have to wait to see how the others fare. 8 for Jeanette Payard and Donatella Dorge. This combination have had great form in the Grand Prix here. They were second and behind the combination we've just seen in 2023. And their maiden Longines Global Championship Grand Prix win came in Cannes, leg 5. 0.4 of a second, they beat Simon de Lestre and Cayman Jolly Jumper, held off the French Challenge for the win in Cannes. Harry Smulders won the GCL round 1, missed attack, the best individual this afternoon already. He's in great form. Monaco gets on course. Just one clear so far for Kathleen Marco Kucher as this pair try and win their second Longines Global Championship Grand Prix in this 2025 season. In 2 nights' time. Monaco well suited to this arena because he's small enough, he's adjustable, and this pair, they are a wonderful combination. We were all so relieved to celebrate their first Longines Global Championship Grand Prix win in Cannes. Harry is riding a peach around here. This is sublime from this incredible marksman from Brabant in the Netherlands. He's so seasoned now. He is just an incredible grafter, but Monaco falls to 10. The Longines Liverpool, I'm afraid, is the downfall of Harry Smulders. Still, 4 penalties should be good enough more than to return for the Grand Prix in 2 nights' time, but the anticipated clear round does not materialise. Late mistake, 4 from home for Harry Smulders, and Monaco, owned by the Evergate Stables. That is 4 for the world number 19, Harry Smulders and Monaco. The royal family of Monaco watch on as their young man, Inigo Lopez de Losa Franco, enters to try and qualify for the Grand Prix here in 2 evenings' time. Inigo, 21 years of age. And this is Porsche Carrera Castanou for Inigo, getting started number 5. The home nation, the Principality of Monaco, world number 444. Now the plank comes very early. It's a really brutal, tough question from Ilyana Vetsani at 2. 155 tall, that is the plank, and the second error comes, I'm afraid, a third error now, so Inigo's chances, I'm afraid, of qualifying are looking perilous. This horse debuts at 160 level this evening, that is, I'm afraid, why he's had a few down. Just a raw talent to this biggest height of international show jumping. And Inigo's problems, I'm afraid, are compounding. He's based with the Lestres up in Metz in the north of France, where he's trained now with Simone Marceau for a good while. But a big occasion, It's a compact arena. This horse is fairly imposingly built. This man is well up over 6 foot tall. He's a strapping young man, so needs a sizable equine partner. A late mistake, I'm afraid, and Inigo Lopez de Franco decides to raise his hand aloft to signal to the grand jury president, that is Italy's Francis Hethkus Jones, that he retires. Sad to see him on home sand, struggling, but still his career looks very, very bright. He's still in his early 20s, at just 21 years of age. Big stage, and retirement for Inigo Lopez de Franco and Porsche Carrera Castanou for Monaco. That is a sensational scene. It could not be any more picturesque or fascinating visually. This man jumps a very good GCL round 1, just 1 down with Jupp. As Peter de Vos watches on, we welcome Fernando Martinez Sommer, 35 years of age, and this is his very good high 5, a new starter. This pair of reliable Grand Prix finishes on the Longines Global Champions Tour. They were 4th in Paris 2023 in the Grand Prix, the year before 5th in Cannes. And this very good horse gets on course to look for our second clear of the GCL Round 2, the Grand Prix qualifier. The best 40 scores, and high 5 makes a very sharp start here. Fernando based at Marwood Stables, that are at Nuenen in the Netherlands, down again to the south, just alongside Eindhoven. This horse, 13 years of age, son of Glasgow Van Hen, Merrill's Nest of Year Vreeling, former fame. The crowd pressed up on the sidelines. Fernando runs deep into the Longines Oxa, but he is secure. The Fiat Monaco vertical at 9 and 7 strides down to the Longines Liverpool for our second clear to join Marco Kutscher and to guarantee surely a top 40 finish here for Grand Prix qualification. Fernando Martinez Sommer comes homebound. It's been a super round and the quickest round of the night so far as well. 0.71 the advantage. Very easy, calm round from the Mexican. He's some horseman, equestrian family that goes back several generations, and no mistakes. His father was a rider but had to quit in the saddle to work, but loves supporting Fernando, and what a good round that is. The quickest of GCL round 2. Our second clear after now we've jumped 6 combinations. This lady, just 30 years of age, she is a huge talent. I love watching her ride. She had 2 years of Marcus Enning and now has been with Stefan Stable since 2019 of Stefan Conter fame. Kendra Cressa Brinkop gets started. This is a very good Enrico de la Pomme jumping number 7. Cool, but it's a really tough start, bruising start for Kendra. Crashes through the first fence, and that is bizarre. This has been her choice ride in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Doha, Madrid and Cannes this year. But watch the replay. That is a bizarre moment. Crashes through the first fence, and Kendra faces no other realistic decision than to retire straight out of the start gates. With Enrico de la Pomme, really disappointing for her. She's a massive talent, but these things can just happen to anybody. The new stars, the royal family locked in discussion, and Philippe Rossier, we welcome forward this great veteran for the French teams. He's now 62 years of age. And Philippe, well, his career has been extraordinary. Started at 10 years of age. His father, Marcel, 3-time Olympian. Philippe himself, 8 senior championship starts for France. The World Cup finals came in Paris-Bercy 1987 for second with Malessin Givre, but that first fence is getting a bruising. Prestigieux Alas Lassia takes that one for Philippe Rosier. This pair, their last outing was a 2-star Grand Prix win in Fontainebleau. This is their second Longines Global Champions to start after Shanghai in the Just International Equestrian Centre, but the second mistake. Prime Players vertical Philippe Rosier, and again his qualification result is now in jeopardy. 3 down for this season Frenchman. 4 down, boy oh boy. Certainly a massive challenge out there. 5 on the French card. 6. Philippe Rosier grits his teeth and goes onwards, but I'm surprised the retirement hasn't materialised just yet. Maybe it will. There's a lot to look at here. It is a gorgeous arena. The crowd pressed up on the flank. There's so many sights and sounds to distract the horse potentially. It's a really frustrating round. Philippe Rosier crosses the line, but 36 on his card. And, well, the great veteran, I'm afraid, not the round he needed tonight in Monaco, bows out of Grand Prix contention. The new starter, Gregory Cotard, gets away. This is number 9, full mind of Olivier Philippons. It is Mika J.W. van der Merheuve on course for Greg. His daughter, 10-year-old mare of Vigado Soy. Her father won the world title with Philippe Lejeune back in Lexington 2010. Greg Cotard gets off to a great start. His first 5-star Grand Prix win came 2 years ago in Bordeaux. Coquin Duval won the Audi prize there. Mika a long way off from the purple violet Oxford of 5, gets away with it. New ride for Greg this year. They were in Mexico City, but they're quite new to this 160 level. Gregory Cotard to join Fernando Martinez Sommer and Marco Kucha. Gets a wiggle on very quickly down out over the Liverpool. Trains with Michael Bocher, former world champion in Taekwondo, for the mental preparation for world-class show jump, which is a massive thing to overcome. The mid part, I'm afraid, of the GCL treble, it comes late. It's a real endurance test from Emiliano Vezzani down 11A, B and C. 155 to the mid vertical. That goes, I'm afraid. Great effort from Gregory Cotard with his new partner this season, Mika J.W. van der Merheuve, has the latest of 4 penalties, but still the chance of returning for the Grand Prix looked very favourable for the northern Frenchman, Gregory Cotard. The new starter, Belgium's Jordi van Massenhoever, gets away. This is number 10. This, the JVM Stables, is Verdiamo Z on course. Now, Gerd Gulliksen watches on. Jordi partners Victoria Gulliksen. This is his Longines Global Champions Tour debut this year. He was here, though, last year. 29th in the Grand Prix with Nand van der Bergska. The only mistake comes the GC plank, I'm afraid, at 2 for this very good Verdiamo Z for Jordi. They were 6th in the Royal Windsor 5-star Grand Prix earlier this season. And good as well in Basel. The Turkish Airlines 3-star Grand Prix back in April for 6th position. Now Jordi has got to stay on the 4 here. This is critical because this horse Little and will be well suited to this arena to come back for the Grand Prix in 2 nights' time. Jordi started at 7 years of age in the saddle. Second mistake, Longines, I'm afraid, far-sided 8. So now he's got to stay on 8 to have any semblance of a chance of returning for the Grand Prix. Critical now, this final line for Jordi van Massenhoven. Verdiamo meets the treble very well, but the back bar goes. Entering, I'm afraid. Now he's in danger of missing out on a top 40 spot to return to the Grand Prix, I would imagine. Good enough effort, but it is 12 for Jordi van Massenhoven. Verdiamo Z comes home. The son of Michael van der Vleuten, former Dutch team horse Verdi Tien, has a score of 12 this evening. The next to come, number 11, we welcome Ireland's Michael Duffy. The 30-year-old from Turlough County Galway gets started. Cantano 32 for Michael. This puncher formed in May of 2023, their 3rd year together. An outstanding podium place, 3rd in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Shanghai, behind Gilles Massa and Luna van het Denhoff last year. This pair jumped well in GCL round 1. They had 1 down. Late mistake it was for Michael. Now, bizarre, missing there, stride entirely into the horse's double. Very, very unusual. Michael Duffy, what a shame. This sport is unforgiving. It really is at times. You cannot write the scripts. This a pair you would have thought would have come back for Saturday's Grand Prix. It comes badly unstuck, I'm afraid. 3A and B, boy oh boy. Michael Bates with Lena and Tim Stormans at Eschweiler and Journey, and he's a jumper fence on the way out, clearly. So Michael Duffy, it's a shock retirement, is out with Cantato 32. His Grand Prix qualification chances, I'm afraid, fall into foul terrain. Michael Duffy retires, combination number 11. The new starter, this man has got a really good relationship with this very arena because he won his first and only Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here in Monaco back in 2016 with Casper. That was the Italian 1-2. Pier Giorgio Debucci was 2nd. Wolfram Bengtsson was 3rd with Casal that evening. Manuel Gagnon had a brilliant leg with us in Paris. He won 2 classes. He won GCL round 1, the Turkish Airlines prize, and then the Prize de la Région Île-de-Paris on the final day, both with Julius D. Manuel Saddles, Esteban de Hus for this GCL round 2. This is new ride as of late March this season. The Italian gets off to a great start. This pair of their 3rd Longines Global Champions Tour start this year. They were in Shanghai and Paris. Had 1 down in the Pre-Eiffel Challenge to come in 23rd behind Abdul Saidan Bonami on the last day. Leg 7, the last leg of the Longines Global Champions Tour. Manuela scorches down to the GCL treble. Boy, oh boy, he comes with a real head of steam. Look at the time. He's going to knock an absolute chunk of time out of Fernando Martinez Sommer's time. Brilliant round, 2.5 seconds quicker. Powerful performance than Manuela Gaudiano. You don't often see that smile emerge. It does break out here in Monaco. That the best clear round, the quickest round so far, and guarantees his Grand Prix qualification place with a powerful display. Wow, that was typical Gaudiano style. Committed, gutsy. Job very well done. Grand Prix qualification, safe as houses. Confirmation of the big lead that Emanuele Gaudiano has set up. Just 3 clears, and the Italian the quickest with Esteban de Hus this evening. The new starter gets off at a really quick, positive pace here. Mariana Frauches Chavez for Brazil on course, 24 years of age. And this, a 10-year-old young son of Echo van der Spiefeld. Pedro van der Barlebus is away briskly. This is an attacking round, already evident. This is the horse's 6th Longines Global Champions Tour starts. The Brazilian is flying out there. Mariana turns into these big boxes on the far side. First blemish comes at the Seahorses Oxer. And 7. Now she's got to try and stay on the 4 here, because still would have a great chance of returning for the big prize here in 2 nights' time. Mariana Frauches Chavez homebound. It's been a really good round. I've loved her attack, free-flowing style. The crowd get right in behind her down through the treble, and it is okay. Mariana Frauches Chavez jumps a very strong round indeed. Course, super round, just a mistake coming, a light touch at 6. Or 7, I should say, the Seahorse Oxer. But committed, and she deserves a Grand Prix place on that performance. I'm sure she'll return. We would expect 4 penalties to more than return. Best 40 out of the start list, that is a total of 54 will be coming back for the Grand Prix. This man won this very class here back in 2019. Great Britain's Harry Charles has made again a very positive start. Harry aboard the Chaco Blue Standard is Casco Blue on course. Sherlock jumped in GCL round 1, who had won last year's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix at London at Royal Chelsea Hospital. This horse 5th in the Prix GCTV in Cannes, leg 5. Harry Charles smokes down to the Le Casino Vertical. 160 tall and came at a lightning pace in. The young Brit is clearly very hungry for his 2nd Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win after last year in London. Casco Blue, 4th season with Harry. He's riding for the Europeans in Milan 2023. Comes storming down to the final fence. Look at the time, he's quicker than Emanuele Gaudiano. Sees a big stride at the last, and that is very, very good. Nearly 2 seconds quicker. Harry Charles is clearly delighted. Just opens up his lips as if to say, that was just what I wanted. Powerful round from the young Brit, and he leads the way in GCL round 2, and his main objective, of course, they'd love to win this class as well, but it is to qualify for the Grand Prix here on Saturday night. Great Britain's Harry Charles leading 2.357 by, the lion's share of 2 seconds. The new starter, 22 years of age, and former national champion of Czechia, Zara Kova, gets started. Same ride as for GCL round 1 this afternoon. Konstantin 110 comes back for Zara. He is the son of Calestas, cross to Quidam de Revel. Yeah, just runs a little bit, I think, fast, was a fraction too bold into 3A and B. The Oxer leaving fourths. This was produced a 5-star level by Christian Kukuk. He won a big class of jumping Amsterdam back in January, penultimate class of the week in the Dutch capital, but such is the modern theme, not what she required. The Grand Prix qualification she felt was in danger. Only one down at that point, but she decided that maybe not feeling quite up to the task this evening. Clearly, when your horse is feeling not quite on their A game, best to retire and save them for another occasion. So I'll bring over that. The early mistake coming at the GC Planker 2, retires Konstantin 110 for Czechia. This the scene of the incredible victory for this lady here last year, winner of the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix, her maiden Grand Prix win on the tour. Tarsiapra watches on, and as Jolie, the new starter. That win with Ambassador Z to beat Max Kuhner. He was the one number 3. And Enes's career highlight by a country mile here last year. Cracktack Rizet is on the course. He's the son of Comorfo, cross to Nabab de Rev, and owned by H Jumping. 6th Longines Global Champions to start for this horse this year. They get quite a way off the takeoff distance into the early combination 3A and B, where Michael Duffy had his trouble earlier. Crack down to the Violet Oxer. He's had a wavy sort of a year, up and down, but this is looking very, very solid here. Dare I say it, the commentator's curse. We hope it's not bite it. Ines Jolie down deep into the Longines Oxer, but it's intact. From Saint-Etienne in Lyon initially, now based in Normandy at Deauville. Just up over 9 p.m. here, local time in Monaco, and Ines Jolie is on a clear round here. Cracktack Rizet has the 1 hour, 2 down through the combination. Initially badly needs to jump the last fence, and she does. Maybe has got a chance of returning for the Grand Prix to try and defend her win here last year. It's possible, I think. A penalty is the score for Cracktack Rizet and France Ines Jolie. But what a good round. Just getting a little bit stronger, I think, down into that late treble. For the 2 verticals down, 11 B and C. Just a fraction on bound through this big GCL line. The next account, Carefree Puck. We welcome the seasoned Austrian. This is his top horse, Equitron Naxo, the 5th for the big occasion, as he bids for the Grand Prix qualifying place here for Saturday night. This horse won the opening 4-star Grand Prix on the Doha Tour January this year. And Carefree from Lamprechtshausen up in the north of Austria gets on course and makes a solid start. 39, his world ranking. His son Tobias Fingston also international show jumper himself, and Carefree comes very quickly down to the La Casino vertical. But yeah, just running a little bit, I think, ahead on his hand, just getting quite strong in the contact. Equitron Naxo the 5th, and they falter. Seahorse Oxer goes again at 7, not easy to clear that, clearly causing quite a lot of trouble. Geoffrey Puck has had a very good round. The second error comes out of the treble. GCL 11C, the second mistake, so 8 should again be enough. As I say, 54 combinations coming forward. We take the best 40 through, and 8 anticipates to make the cut line, but we'll have to wait until the conclusion. What a shame for that late mistake, because 4 certainly will be good enough tonight to return for the Grand Prix on Saturday. Charles out in first place. He was simply devastatingly quick. Casco Blue has the young Brit who won this class back in 2019 out in first position, with 7 more to come before the individual group of 24 riders has completed. The new starter, Efesyahi, gets away. This is Cantate for the rider for Turkey. Combination number 18 on course. This is the son of Kolensky G, cross to Quidam's Rubin for Efesyahi. F was not in Paris, but he was at home watching and just took to another level of celebration when his team, Istanbul Warriors, won their first GCL leg. Leg 7 last time, but another one. Takes 7 and 8 goes, I'm afraid. The 2 oxes on the big run down between 7 and 8, they both go. "37 years of age, had a big injury in 2024 that had him several months out of competition, but that certainly has galvanised him for this season. But now another mistake down through the GCL line, and it's going to be 12 for Efesyahi. Cantate's chances of returning are very borderline, I would venture to say. We'll have to wait and see. Not impossible. It's a big course, Milano-Vettani tonight, but the rider from Turkey has certainly got an uphill struggle to make the Grand Prix here on Saturday night. Now the first mistake, and this is second. The new starter, Ireland's young gun, Max Watchman, gets away, 21 years of age. The man from County Tipperary has trained for a long time with the Carswell stable of Cian O'Connor. Lexington gets off to a very good start tonight in GCL round 2. The win came with Santre Pirates in Cannes, but they take, I'm afraid, 2 fences on that dogleg left-hander. 5 and 6 Violet and the Casino Ox are both going. Max Watchman has got to stay now on 8, that is critical. This horse went very well in the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix in Cannes, 10th place. That was in behind Harry Smulders and Monaco. Max turns down into the big treble combination. I'm afraid falters in. It's going to be 3 down for Max Watchman. He's based the moment with the Oslansic, but I'm afraid it's going to be 3 fences down. And again, similar score, similar position to Efesyahi, same score as Effa. It's 12, and yeah, Max Watchman looks a little bit shaken. That's his chances of backing up that great 10th place in Cannes now remain in the fate of the others. Results, 12 is the score for Lexington and Ireland's Max Watchman. Cameron Hanley here on behalf of Carswell stable to tutor and mentor this young talent from Monaco. Anastasia Nielsen gets away. Dark Chocolate 48 is the new starter for the home nation. John Vinigo, Lopez Franco, so the royal family would love to see a home clear round here. Anastasia comes rapidly down through 3A and B. This pair, their second Longines Global Champions Tour start. This year they were in Shanghai, 35th in the Grand Prix. In China at leg 3. Anastasia runs down to the Le Casino 160 vertical. Jumps in very smartly. Still only 19, but they take the Seahorses Oxford 7. Needs now to hang on to 4 or worst 8 here. Now 8 it is, and Anastasia Nielsen's got to stay on 8 because at the moment we've got, in fact, only 11 have had 8 penalties or better. Still a long way to go, of course, with the top 40 to return. Dark Chocolate comes down to the final fence. So maybe it's sufficient. I would imagine so, but we must wait and see. It is 8 penalties for Anastasia Nielsen. Still at 19 years of age, what a bright prospect she is for world show jumping. 8 for Dark Chocolate, 48 former rider Des Lynch. The son of GCL completes number 20. And the score for the home nation, Principality of Monaco, is 8. This is the first of the 2 errors for Anastasia Nielsen. The new starter, the awesome rider for Luxembourg on course, Victor Bellendorf, world number 40. We welcome. This is his new ride this season. Gibbs and Paz get started. Their first Longines Global Champions Tour start was in Paris. They did start the Grand Prix in the French capital. They were sadly eliminated. That was their first 5-star Grand Prix as a new combination this season. Victor's made a very good start, typical Bettendorf-esque here, but they take the Le Casino 160 vertical. Fence 6. Second error comes at the Longines, and now things are looking more bothersome for Victor to return for the Grand Prix. What a sensational end to last season he enjoyed. Fox de la Roque winning both the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Rome, and then the Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix in Riyadh for a famous double late last season. Well, Gibbs and Paz comes home, but problems down through the GCL treble as well, with a third error for Victor Bellendorf, I'm afraid. Again, he will hope to return on 12. It's possible. Bellendorf just uncouples his air jacket from the saddle. That superb safety innovation, that external full rags, that air cushion. In case of a rotational fall, Victor Bellendorf has 12 with his new ride this season, Gibbs and Paz for Luxembourg, combination number 21. Three more individuals to come tonight prior to the teams getting started for GCL round 2, and Ireland's Mikey Pender, we welcome. He is one number 53 and still only 25 years of age. He has had 2 Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix wins, both coming in 2022, Valkenswaard and Riyadh, both HHS Calais. Tonight Mikey is aboard HHS Los Angeles. He's won 2 Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix this year. 29th in Doha and 24th in Madrid. And most recent start on the Longines Global Champions Tour together. Now there's a pair I think could well post a clear round tonight. Mikey from Castle Dermot, County Kildare. Started with the GCL in 2020. Became the youngest ever winner of the Hickstead Derby. The Boomerang Trophy went to him in 2019. That's extraordinary. With Hart and Dubois, Hiller, Mikey Pender, Harry Charles' time, I think, is safe, but Mikey won't worry about that. He just wants to clear round for the Grand Prix to come back in 2 days' time for the big prize here in Monaco, and it's a super round. HHS Los Angeles in front of an excited, flamboyant Monegasque crowd. Coasts home into third place goes the young Irishman. Qualification very secure for him. He'll be back, one to really keep your eye on come the Grand Prix here in 2 days' time. That is the third quickest clear round. We have only still 5 in total. Harry Charles, Emanuele Gaudiano, Mikey Bender, Fernando Martinez Sommer, and the slowest of the 5 clears, Germany's Marco Kutscher. The new starter, 2 more individuals to come. This very good combination on course. Edwina Thompson-Alexander gets started. This is her own, and the tops horse trading's fellow Casterfield, son of Jetem Flamenco, on course for Edwina. She's had superb form in this very Grand Prix over the years. But now we focus on the Grand Prix qualification attempt for this rider from North Shore in Sydney initially. Double season champion. 2011, 2012, first rider on the Longines Global Champions Tour to win over €1 million in prize money. And winner of the first ever Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix in Prague with California in 2018. But sadly, Carsfield just takes the top of the Longines Oxa. Edwina, though, now will try and sit carefully on that full penalty. But Carsfield has another into the GCL treble. 8 we expect will be okay to return, but we have to wait and see. Composed round again, but 2 errors, I'm afraid, for Edwina Thompson-Alexander and fellow Carsfield out on Ilan Vezzoni's big course tonight here in Monaco. Edwina pursed her lips, and she must wait and see how the others fare. And she returns to the Grand Prix that, as I say, she's had such good form in here over the years. Third in 2013 with Floyd. Just been a string of very good results here. 5th in 2021, Idensi Vitsorel. 8th in 2023. And 6th here last year behind Ines Joly. Look at this scene, it really is breathtaking. Just alongside Porte-Cool, it could not be more magnificent. 1 more to come individually prior to the little interval, prior to GCL round 2. The team's getting started, and Dexter Kerglen is on course. France's sensational Jean Saint-Dron, this pair who won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Paris last year, their first Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win. Dexter, though, faltered out of the double. Jeanne recently nominated the French team. Her senior cap debut will come in La Coruña for the Europeans in just a couple of weeks' time. So Jean Saint-Dron has now got to stand tall and keep on the 4 penalties with Dexter. Skips out of the middle of the course, and Jean Saint-Dron would still be very likely to return with 4 penalties for the Grand Prix. Only 8 rounds have got 4 or better, so very certain to return. Dexter Kerglen skips typically. Charismatic jumper this one. Son of Milo Cathargo crosses the line for Jean Saint-Dron. It's a good round, just early mistake for Jean. But as I say, very well positioned to return for the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here in Monaco. The Grand Prix du Prince du Monaco, Albert II. The Royal Family here tonight here in the Principality of Monaco. Here is the position at the end of the individuals. The 5 clear rounds. Harry Charles, the quickest clear round so far. We have a short break prior to GCL round 2. We'll see you all here very shortly. this will be a sensational evening. Delighted to welcome you to leg 8 of the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Monaco for GCL round 2, the team concluder in this stunning city. Porto, the base here. We have been coming here since 2006, so now 19 editions we have celebrated, and GCL has started back in 2016. This is the 9th edition of the GCL of Monaco. This is our location. It could not be any better. The royal family in attendance this evening, and welcome to what will be a fascinating battle at the halfway point of the 2025 season. A cooler night with 20 degrees, and there's still a light breeze just to keep our equine superstars cool. Well, what a batch of individuals we have enjoyed this evening. Ilan Vetsani, the course mastermind here, has set up a fascinating course. The track 160 in height, and these are former champions, 8 editions previously, and no team has won here twice. The defending champions are Cannes Stars, Riesbeck International won it in 2023. Stockholm Hearts, who lead after GCL round 1, they were the champions here back in 2022. The super yachts here moored, and it could not be a more breathtaking scene. Our crowd has had a very good afternoon. This the standing after 7 legs. Cannes Stars, last year's champions, have a narrow lead. They lead by 3 points. They won leg 1 in Doha on 4 podiums. They've enjoyed. Longines United and Shanghai Swans have had 2 wins apiece for 2nd and 3rd. Prague Lions, they were 2nd in Doha, and Central Pirates, they won in Cannes. And these teams at the halfway points were on the mid-season transfer window as well, so team changes could be coming through prior to London. Those teams all trying to catch up. We take you back through the highlights of GCL round 1 here in Monaco. Gilles Thomas with this 9-year-old Croix de Calvary for this man who won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Paris. Just one time penalty was very frustrating. Lorenzo De Luca, this is new ride Mangoon. That the mistake that came mid-course for Lorenzo, front of the Longines Oxa. The 4 penalties. They lie 6th after round 1, Longines United, and 2nd in the season standings. Stockholm Hearts came in, and Jane Richard has had great form in the Grand Prix here in years gone by, and that's a reaction. Superb clear for Jane and Molly Malone, Z. Crowd got right engaged. Our leaders after GCL round 1. This team won the last leg in Paris, their first win this season. Simon Delestre, though, I'm afraid, faltered into the combination with his great Dexter Fontes said, and then the one number 3 came in with his brand new ride, Quasira van der Rijstenhoek, Penrith von Eckermann. Tough round, they're a brand new partnership. Decimal Warriors, they came home, they struggled after the win in Paris. 20 the score for FS Yahi's team. This team have never won here in Monaco, but a bright-eyed Madrid in Motion's Michael van der Vleuten, former winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix here 2019. That was beautiful clear for Michael, and Beauvais Z NOP. Kim Emmen came in with her brand new right legs to Seigneur. A superb clear round over the fences, but it was 3-time to put Madrid in motion into 2nd after GCL round 1. The last team to start, Shanghai Swans, poised in 3rd on the season standings. Mountain Herman first in Foxpit Grim, faltered into the pair of verticals. Then this late mistake, it was 8, and a tough start for Shanghai Swans here in Monaco. The season champion last year, Max Kuhner, again could not limit damage. He had 1 down with EIC up to Jacko Blue out of that combination. So these are standings after GCL round 1. Stockholm Hearts, they won here back in 2022. They enjoy a 3 penalty lead, but they're yapping at Stockholm Hearts' heels. Madrid in Motion 2nd, Cannes Stars 3rd, Basel Cosmopolitans in 4th, and Prague Lions sitting in 5th place. So it's very tight at the top, with the only team to have a clear Stockholm Hearts. And sadly, we'll not see the home team returning. Monaco Comets eliminated. So the home team, I'm afraid, will not be coming back. We take you around the course. Elena Vatsani has set for GCL round 2 here in Monaco, leg 8 of GCL, the Global Champions League. It's a long course at Porte-Cool for 70 metres, just 30 metres shy of a half kilometre. This, the opening fence, it is the Leaves Ox, a 150 by 140, right-handed little dogleg run down to the plank. It comes very early. The GC plank 155 to all at 2. They spin back. This also comes very early. The first combination, 3A and B, the horses double. One stride in between. A 155 tall vertical entering 3A. Down then to what has been an influential Oxer out. Fence 3B, a tough, very early combination. It's then 5 strides on landing, 3B down to 4, the Prague Playhouse vertical. The first max height fence, 160 tall, fence number 4, is very, very imposing. It's a sharp right-hander, it's a hairpin bend in effect. Back to the Violet Oxer, fence 5, 153 tall, 155 is very wide, very airy, flimsy in design. So then a long run, speed can be made up here down to the Casino vertical. Just 3 white rails, it's again max height of 160. Then left-handed to Big Oxers here on the far side. The Seahorses Oxer 7 has been causing trouble. 153, 155, then 5 strides down to the Longines Oxer. Same dimensions, fence number 8. Then it's left-handed into the Fiat vertical. Sharp left-hander. 160 tall and 9 is imposing. Then 7 strides, a right-handed bowed line down to the Longines Liverpool fence 10. Again, max height, 160. This final line is a brutal line. Endurance comes into play here. The GCL treble. 11A entering 150 by 160. The land, 1 stride on the flank here, down to a very big vertical, 155 tall. The same height leaving, 1 stride down to 11C. And the horse is just getting a little bit leg worry. It's a very big late question from Elena Vatsani. And down right-handed to the final fence. The anchors will bring them home. Fence 12, 155 and a little concession. But the finish line not too wide at 1 metre and 10. 76 seconds the time allowed, and it's some course for GCL round 2 this evening here in Monaco. These are teams that will come in reverse order as to from their GCL round 1 results. The Falcons will lead us into battle. Then come the winners of last leg in Paris, Simon Lestra and Henrik von Eckermann. Both have horse changes. Winners here in 2019, again, both changes. Johann Sebastian Gulliksen, Harwich, and Jörg Vrieling has Canan. Paris Panthers, the winners here formerly in 2021, Alexa Ferrer and Guido Grimaldi. Guido stays with Gentleman and a change for Alexa. Shanghai Swans, Katrina Romberg and Max Kuhner. Horse change for Max. John Whittaker comes now to join Nadia Peter-Steiner for Rome Gladiators. Horse change for John Whittaker. Spencer Smith and Robert Murphy, HHS Seattle, and Eagle van der Wolfsacker Z for New York Empire. The next team to come in, Max Amigos, Zoe Conter brings in H5 Chacophonie and a horse change as well for Kern Verreker to Merryweather. Raceback International, 1 here in 2023, Emmanuel Camilli and Jacko's Girl Star. And Gilles Thomas and Lorenzo De Luca both have horse changes for Valkenswaard United. My second season standings, Prague Lions bringing Carl Tim, and Peter De Vos has a horse change, Casualty VZ. His season mare comes in. Basel Cosmopolitans, Andreas Sko alongside Zasha Nygaard Lille, horse changes. Andreas only, Zasha stays with Primavera. CanStars, Natalie Dean, Katrin Eckermann, horse changes, and can't wait to see how they fare later. Madrid in motion, Michael van der Flirten brings in O'Bailey this time. Kim Emman has a new horse as well, Imagine NOP, 2 very good horses. And Stockholm Hearts, the leaders after GCL round 1. Jane Richard stays with Molly Malone Z. And Olivia Philippart has a horse change to Dixie Moon as they try and win here to become the first team in our now 9 editions who have won here twice. Stockholm Hearts won here in 2022 with Lily Atwood and the man who's alongside Jane Richard tonight, Olivia Philippart. The quickest round individually 63.57. Harry Charles stormed home. He leads by 1.93 seconds of Emanuele Gaudiano. Second, Esteban Hus and Mikey Penda. Third of HHS Los Angeles. There's a big penalty split across our 15 teams to return for GCL round 2, with 32 penalties separating the 15 teams that are still standing. The trailblazer Doha Falcons will lead us into battle, and as I say, these teams come in reverse order. GCL round 2 not only to decide the team 8th leg in this GCL 2025 season, the 9th GCL season, having started in 2016, but also it will act to decide who qualifies for the Grand Prix here in 2 nights' time. The best 40 individual rounds will return for the Grand Prix. The trailblazer into GCL round 2, Willem Vermeer, will get us underway. Top Invest 313Z for Willem. Our Falcons with work to do. They are 13th in the season standing, so would love to mount a second half challenge this season. Of course, their chance this evening rather unlikely with 32 the start score. The one number 88 gets off to a good start here. Top Invest was in the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix in Paris. They retired, sadly, in the French capital. Massive course again that Jules Thomas mastered with Hermitage Cologne for his first Longines Global Championship win this year. So our Falcons is Willem Vermeer comes down to the final line. It's been a polished round. Of course, their team chances, I'm afraid, rather hopeless after GCL round 1, and Willem has 2 down into the late treble combination. Of course, his mind turns to the Grand Prix. 2 down should be good enough to return for the Grand Prix in 2 days' time here. It is 8 for Willem Vermeer and Top Invest 313Z for Belgium. This pair of Ananas standing Longines Global Championship Grand Prix season. They were 5th in Ramator Saint-Tropez. That was Killer Queen's very first Longines Global Championship Grand Prix as well. Jérôme Guéry now tries to secure his place in the Grand Prix here in Monaco. Killer Queen, 13 years of age, daughter of Diablo Blanco, makes a solid start for Jérôme. He lies 7th on the Longines Global Championship Grand Prix season standings, behind Jules Thomas, who's got a 42-point lead over Simon de Lestre. Mistake comes, though, the Fiat vertical. 162 and 9, I'm afraid, out of the cups. Killer Queen a long way off the treble, but Jérôme Guéry, the Vice World Champion, master riding down through the line to get the mare down across the finish line with just the 1 down. Again, secures his Longines Global Championship Grand Prix place without a bother, surely. But it is, again, a reflection of just how tough the course is tonight from Uliana Vetsani. Still just the 5 clear rounds, and the quickest one, Harry Charles, blazed around the bread, Casco Blue, has had a hot time of 63.57 to beat. The first completed team score, GCL round 2, it is 44, I'm afraid.
A very tough night at the office for the Doha Falcons. 44 penalties, as going to see them finish right down towards the bottom. They will not finish very last, though, after 2 eliminations in round 1. But it'll be very tough to see other teams getting higher than 44 penalties. Next in the ring, the Paris GCL winners, Istanbul Warriors. How much higher can they climb up today's standings? If you want to join us for the rest of GCL live from Monaco, sign up for that GCTV live pass and come see what takes place here at the Porte Écule as we continue with the second round of GCL.